When we first meet Sadie Adler, she's screaming. Not with rage, not with strength, but with loss. She's dragged from the wreckage of a burning cabin, her husband freshly murdered, her world reduced to cinders. And in that moment, she isn't a gunslinger. She isn't a survivor. She's broken. But she doesn't stay that way. Sadie doesn't follow the typical arc of grief in gaming. She doesn't become soft. She doesn't become kind. She doesn't even become cold. She becomes clear. That's what makes her dangerous. And that's what makes her different. Because while the rest of the Vanderlyn gang is slowly unraveling, falling to ego, to loyalty, to loss, Sadie, she is rebuilding. Quietly, violently, one bullet at a time. So the question is, what does survival turn you into? When the people you love are taken, when the old life burns down, when the system doesn't offer justice, what do you become? Do you lose yourself? Or do you find something harder, something sharper? This is Satie Adler's story, and it doesn't end in forgiveness. It ends in fire. The gang rescues Sadie from a cabin, but they don't save her. They feed her, of course, give her a bed, hand her a coat, but no one truly sees her. Not for a long while. She's not treated like part of the gang. Not yet. She's pitied, given quiet jobs, pushed to the side while the men handle the gunplay. And Sadie? She lets this happen, at least for a while, because she's still bleeding inside. Still learning how to breathe through the wreckage of what is taken from her. But beneath the grief is heat, something alive, something dangerous, something no one in the camp quite knows what to do with. And then comes the turning point, the first kill. It's fast, brutal, with no hesitation. And suddenly, the woman they thought they rescued isn't waiting for permission anymore. Sadie doesn't grow into violence. She steps into it, like she's been waiting for the world to show its true face so she can finally show hers. She doesn't ask for a seat at the table. She simply takes it. Not with speeches, not with philosophy, but with action. She starts riding with Arthur, taking jobs, talking back. She earns her place not by asking, by showing that she's every bit as capable as any man in the gang. More than that, she's cleaner. Sadie doesn't romanticize the lifestyle. She doesn't pretend it's freedom. She knows what death looks like. She's been in the ashes. And she's decided that if the world's going to burn, she'll bring the fire herself. Sadie doesn't kill out of cruelty. She kills out of clarity. She sees the world for what it is, violent, ugly, and indifferent. She meets it with both hands on her revolvers and no apology. That's what makes her transformation so rare. She's not unraveling. She's arming up. Most people in the gang either fall in line or fall apart. Sadie does neither. As Dutch tightens his grip, as Arthur grows suspicious, as the family starts to buckle under the weight of Dutch's delusions, Sadie, she simply pulls away. Not emotionally, but tactically. She doesn't beg for trust. She earns it. She doesn't shout to be heard. She speaks when it matters. And when she does, people listen. Sadie becomes the one person in the gang who doesn't fear Dutch, doesn't revere him, doesn't need him. And Dutch, he knows it. He keeps her at arm's length because he can't shape her, can't guilt her, can't twist her loyalty like he does with Arthur, or manipulate her the way he does with Javier or Bill. Sadie isn't loyal to a dream. She's loyal to people, to Arthur, to John, to what's real. And that's why she survives. Because when the gang collapses, when Micah poisons the air, when Dutch chooses ego over brotherhood, when Arthur's lungs give out on the mountain, Sadie doesn't shatter, she sharpens. She walks away from the wreckage not broken, not confused, not hollow, but focused. She doesn't run, she doesn't hide, She doesn't ask what comes next. She knows. Vengeance. Freedom. And the promise she made to Arthur, protect John, protect Abigail, make sure what's left is worth something. Sadie becomes the last version of what the gang was supposed to be. Fierce, loyal, honest, not in words, but in actions. She doesn't carry Dutch's dream. She buries it. After the gang collapses, most of the survivors disappear. Javier runs. Dutch retreats into silence. Charles simply fades into the hills. But Sadie keeps writing. Not for revenge, not for glory, but for purpose. She reappears years later with that same fire behind her eyes. But it's more focused now, more surgical. She's working as a bounty hunter, not out of rage, but out of control. She's made peace with who she is. She isn't pretending to be something she's not. She's not chasing redemption or a place in the world that won't accept her. She's writing her own role, one bullet at a time. And when she reunites with John, it's not nostalgia, it's not sentiment, it's unfinished business. She believes in what Arthur died for, believes in John and Abigail and Jack, that they deserve a future that doesn't smell like blood, and she's willing to do what it takes to make sure they get it, even if it means stepping right back into the fire. But this time, she's not following anyone, she's leading. On the final job, the assault on Micah's mountain stronghold, Sadie is the one pushing forward, taking hits, killing without hesitation, not because she wants violence, but because she refuses to be afraid of it. And when it's done, when Micah is dead and Dutch walks away a shadow of a man he once was, Sadie, she doesn't gloat, she doesn't preach, she just bleeds, quietly, because even when she wins, the world still takes something from her, but she keeps going. That's what makes her different. Arthur died for something. John died trying to hold it together. Sadie lives. Not because she's lucky, but because she chooses to. Because somewhere between the fire and the silence, she found something no one else in the story did. Freedom. Not peace. Not comfort, but simply freedom. When we asked what survival turns you into, we didn't mean it as a metaphor. Because in Red Dead Redemption 2, survival isn't romantic. It's absolutely brutal. It takes things from you. Family, softness, rest. It strips you down to what's essential and what's left after the world burns. And that is who you really are. For Dutch, survival turned him into a voice with nothing behind it. For Micah, it made him bold and then hollow. For Arthur, it made him selfless, but then gone. Sadie, however, survival didn't twist her. It refined her. She took the pain, the grief, the blood, and didn't bury it. She built herself around it, not to be feared and not to be idolized, but to be free. Free from men who thought they could lead her. Free from a world that didn't know what to do with a woman who wouldn't sit quietly. Free from the lie that violence can only make monsters. Because Sadie chose to carry the fire and didn't let it consume her. She lost her home, lost her husband, lost every system that was supposed to protect her. And in return, she found herself. Not through softness, but through steel. She became the only character in that world who walked through hell and didn't come out asking for anyone's approval. And when the smoke cleared, she was still standing. Not because she wanted to survive, because she refused to die for anyone else's cause ever again.